Welcome back, hodlers, and if you are a KSM bull, you're really going to like this video. Today we're going to be talking about the Parachain auctions that is live for KSM, what that means for KSM and what that means for Polkadot and the whole ecosystem, and also how to participate in some crowd loans, how you can fund these Parachain auctions. I'm going to be talking all about that right now. I'm also going to be looking at one specific project from the crowd loan structure. Now, I don't know exactly which one I'm going to contribute to, but I will be posting videos once I do contribute to some crowd loans. So first, before we get into what a crowd loan is and everything, we're going to be talking about where KSM is right now. So currently KSM is sitting at around $400 at the time of me recording this video. So it might be a little bit different from when you're watching this video, but it has held a good amount of support. We've talked about this line before, this line in the sand essentially that KSM has kind of been bouncing around. This has been our contentious point, and I know I've discussed myself that, we wouldn't see anything below that, but I think realistically at this point we can absolutely see a KSM go below 400 at this point and go even further. So obviously KSM is holding at around our $407 mark as of recording this video, so it could go either which way of where it goes in the near term, but I'm not too terribly concerned about where it's going to go. Now, we saw this huge push, and you might be wondering what this big green bar was about. This was probably the bullish news from the parachains, but I think we have a lot more bullish sentiment coming in, and especially once people start looking at some of the projects that they're funding, it's very good to see KSM at this level. I'm really happy to see KSM here. Talking about KSM's big brother parachain, which is Polkadot. So Polkadot is currently sitting at around $20. Definitely a buy at this point, but everything that you're seeing happen now with Kusama in terms of the parachains and the crowd loans, that is also going to be coming to Polkadot. So these same bullish trends are going to happen. So what we see right now with Kusama is more of a precursor of what's going to happen exactly with Polkadot. Now, of course, I'm bullish on all the systems. I'm bullish on a lot of substrate technology. So when we talk about Polkadot, Sora, KSM, the whole thing, I have it, I own it, I'm bullish. So the parachains are now live. And what does that mean? What is a parachain? A parachain is essentially a blockchain that operates within the Kusama network. So it doesn't require a company or a project to come with a pre-built blockchain. They're using the parachain to onboard their technology and move into an interoperable space with other KSM and Polkadot blockchains, essentially other substrate blockchains. So that's how a parachain works. The parachain auctions are selling the limited amount of slots that we have for parachains. So obviously we want to make sure that the projects we choose are going to be beneficial for the system. And it's typically going to go to the highest bidder, which usually means the highest crowdfunded loan, which typically means that we're voting with our KSM in a way. So obviously the teams are designing a parachain build. They determine how they're going to pay for the slot lease. So we saw some companies and some blockchains actually drop out of the slot lease. One being Reef is no longer going for a parachain. I believe that's correct. Then they join the auction. And then if they get a slot, they deploy on that acquired slot, and then they just renew. So I'm assuming once a project doesn't renew their slot, at that point, that parachain would go back up for auction. I assume that's how it works, but I'm not 100% sure. Now, during these next couple of months, we have a bit of a timeline for our auctions and for our durations. So we see auction 1, auction 2, auction 3, auction 4, and auction 5, and then your slot durations. But we see all of these auctions are staggered, and this is going to happen over the next month. So we see auction 1 starts June 15th, so we're quickly heading for that time. Bidding ends on June 22nd. And then the slot duration goes from the 22nd all the way to May 13th of 2022. So an entire year of a lease. Auction 2 starts right after Auction 1 ends on June 22nd. Bidding ends on the 29th. And then the slot duration goes until May 13th. And you get the picture. Auction 3 right after Auction 2. And then Auction 4 right after Auction 3. Then auction 5. So you may be asking, how do I participate? How do I get involved with crowdfunding and parachain? Now, I would like to mention that there is a video here on the Kusama website that goes into how to navigate to the crowd loan section and also contribute to individual crowd loans. So definitely go ahead and watch that. I'm going to link the video down below, but go ahead and watch this to get a full understanding of how to use your Polkadot.js wallet. But we're not going to be talking about that now because I'm not ready to contribute to one because I haven't looked too much into the projects. So when you're at the Polkadot Substrate app, so here we are at the Polkadot Substrate app. You've seen this before if you've seen me working with PSwap. This is how you stake Polkadot, how you stake Kusama. So all you would have to do is make sure that you are on the Kusama network, make sure to switch over there. Then once you're there, you can just go up to your network and go to Parachains. You have your overview of Parachains, you move over to Crowdloan, and here you go, you can see all the Crowdloans that are available. So here you can see the projects that are bidding for the Parachains. You can see how much Kusama that they've raised and how many people have contributed to each one. And then you can go ahead and contribute to the parachains that you want to source. Now, to what I understand, if the parachain fails, you are recouped all the KSM, so you don't have to worry about losing any KSM. And as well, if the parachain is successful, it's a crowd loan. You will eventually get your KSM. Now, just to look at one project, we're going to take a look at the first one here. I pulled that up, which is a DeFi hub. You all know how I feel about DeFi right now. I think we're going to have a huge boom with DeFi over the next couple of months, especially as more projects start to join in on the fun. We see Cardano eventually having their DeFi once we finally have Alonzo. But right now with KSM, we do have the potential of DeFi structures coming out soon. And the one big complaint that I have with most DeFi protocols is probably the UI. And I like how this UI looks. Now, I will be looking into each individual project in the Crowdloans, but this project so far has caught my eye in terms of where I would want to put a little bit of my KSM. And the reason being is because I'm so bullish on DeFi, I think a good DEX, especially in the KSM network, would be hugely bullish on where we're going to go. So I'm super excited to see some DeFi coming to KSM. Obviously, we do have the Sora network and the PSwap substrate, but I've talked about this before, is one DEX isn't going to rule them all just as much as one blockchain doesn't rule them all. So if you are bullish on DeFi and the concept, having DeFi coming to our KSM network is going to be incredible. Now, they do talk about exactly why they're building on the Kusama network. So again, Kusama is the canary network for Polkadot. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's the test network, but there are a lot of preliminary stuff that are done on Kusama. But Kusama also has its own network and infrastructure and own ecosystem. So it's not like if a project builds on Kusama, it's just a test version of what could be on Polkadot. It has its own individual ecosystem and is much less stringent on what blockchains that it's going to support. So in a way, even Kusama describes itself as the wild cousin of Polkadot. So just consider it that way. A lot more is allowed on Kusama. So I think having a platform like this would be really helpful, really easy to use, especially with mobile, providing liquidity on a DEX with your mobile phone. I think all of this could be hugely bullish on where this is going to go in the near term. I think a platform like this would be incredible to have for KSM. And Karura is the sister network of Acala, which is the Polkadot sister version of this parachain. And looking at the network here, we can see exactly where we are. So you can see that we're currently at this stage. A lot of work is going to get started once this parachain is over. And I think we're going to see a lot of bullish news coming forward once we do finally see parachains being completed. But we do see the Karura, the network, the sister network of Acala coming out at this point. So obviously this is the Acala roadmap, which we have the Karura parachain auction right here on this roadmap. So here is where we are. And I can only assume that once this parachain is out of the way and once this auction is done, then at this point, there's going to be a lot more work for the system. But obviously they don't want to bank on everything. They want to wait and see if they can actually get the slot. And I think that's going to be the story with a lot of the other crowd loans that we have. So I'd say at this point, I'm probably most likely going to contribute some to Karura, but I haven't looked enough into the other ones. I just wanted to show you an example of exactly what a crowd loan would be and how you would fund each individual project. So obviously, I'd completely encourage you to get involved with crowd loans if you have Kusama and if you are bullish on the network. I think it's going to pay you out in dividends in the near term. And also, you get to support the blockchains that you most want onto a parachain. But that's it for me, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and give me a like if you did like the video. Subscribe to the channel for more crypto news and content. And of course, happy hodling.